This Monday Night Props and NFL Week 5 recap edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by WynnBet. Bet $100 at WynnBet and get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today.
Hey, this is LeGarrette Blunt, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean Green.
Everything all right, Sean?
No. Discord is looping back.
Okay. Like you can hear yourself.
Yeah, I had to leave the Discord. It was destroying. It was looping back, even though I was muted.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, starting the show. What's happening, Ryan?
All right. Well, nothing. Everything was fine on this side, so we're good to go. 3-1 turned into 4-1 across the pond. You tried to stomp on it by having technical difficulties, but Dan Jones 1-0 in London. Dan Jones extends the Giants' winning streak to 3 on international ground, and Dan Jones 1-0 versus Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
let's fucking go.
Congrats on the win. Would be a little bit more impressive if they were 5-0 like the Philadelphia Eagles, heading into Arizona, getting the dub, turning the entire city of Phoenix into Philadelphia.
Disgusting.
It was awesome.
Disgusting.
It was great. Why was it disgusting?
Just disgusting.
What are you, a Kyler guy now?
It's green. You don't do green. Doesn't go well with red. Funny enough, the score 2017, Sean, was maybe you've kiboshed the curse of the diehard Eagles host, because 2017 was the year that last game occurred. So maybe the witch cast some misplaced spells in London, didn't help Aaron Rodgers, but maybe you've crushed the curse of you and your co-host attending a game together.
2017 got the win, didn't get the cover, but hey, when you're 5-0, you're not going to cover every spread. You're just worried about straight up winners dominating the NFC East. Man, wild day of football overall. I don't even know what to make of it. Like a couple upsets, couple ugly ass games. I don't know any big takeaways, Kramer.
The Eagles are I think the Eagles are now neck and neck with the Lions for the spread being meaningful in their games. So that's something to take away. Tom Brady talking shit about some bad football being played. You don't let Mariota get in the back door if you're playing good football, sir. Look.
Man, that I saw that the unsportsmanlike or the roughing the passer that was called on Tom Brady. I mean, we got to clean this up. I mean, what next thing you know, we're going to end up like college football where the game is completely unwatchable. And we got to get rid of that. That's crazy.
And shout out to Noah for doing the side by side of the sack with Tua. That was not a roughing the passer. Like the world stopped to talk about Tua. Wasn't even a fucking penalty. Meanwhile, Tom Brady. I mean, it literally is because he looks old. It's the same thing with Matt Ryan. Like the limbs go a little limp. You're worried like when an old person falls near a curb. Like there's hips involved, but it's like who knows? Tom Brady might need another game in Germany to help that labrum get refreshed a little faster. I don't know. The big takeaways for today were, football is a fickle bitch. And sometimes the gambling gods remind you that you shouldn't take Kenny Pickett against Josh Allen when he's in full erect fuck mode. And he didn't look ahead. I'm so pissed off. I wasted the time putting the calendar reminder for this look ahead spot. It meant nothing. And the only positive, I don't know. We should just go start rattling through the game.
Yeah, we'll go through the picks. Not a great day. Our contest, oh man, 0-4-1 because the Cleveland, although we picked it at 2.5 on the show, it closed at 2 on the circuit contest.
How do we not get the Texans on the card? God.
Yeah, oh man. All right, we'll get to that. Before we get to all these recaps, and of course, stay tuned for the Monday night prop bets. And hey, if you're listening live in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord, raise your hand if you want to chime in. You want to toss someone in the locker. I got my locker suggestion later on when we recap the Saints Seahawks game, but I definitely have one for that. Or if you lit it up, I feel like no one really that I talked to had a great day betting, but if you did, feel free, call in, tout. We're always welcome to a great tout. Speaking of tout, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/win bet $100, get $100 free bet. It was so great these past few days being in Arizona, spinning the win bet parlay wheel, getting down on some live action. It's just awesome. And and since I had never played in Arizona before, I qualified for the bet $100, get $100 free bet. Me being a maniac, I put the $100 free bet on the Steelers money line because it was the biggest bet I could take, and of course came nowhere close to cashing. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/win bet. All right, let's get to it.
Before we start, Sean, I do have a question for you. It's a fun bit of trivia. Can you name the teams that have 4 wins or more?
4 wins or more.
4 wins or more.
How many teams we talking?
There are a total of 5 teams.
Okay, so the Philadelphia Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys, redacted. The New York Giants.
There might be 6 teams. Then I might have left. Have left the Cowboys.
The New York Giants, the Minnesota Vikings.
Yes.
Kansas City.
Nope. There's only one more. There's 5 total. I was right.
Okay, 5.
4 in the NFC and 1 in the AFC.
And the Buffalo Bills. That's the elite. Money. That's the elite inner circle of the NFL right now. Cooper Rush, Dan Jones, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen. Or not even Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen and Kirk Cousins. Holy shit. What a time to be alive, Sean. What a time to be alive. Indy 12, Denver 9. I mean, I didn't expect this game to be beautiful. In hindsight, the no touchdown play was so obvious.
I know.
I'm really kicking our Ryan. Like, we got to do better as DJs. Like, this game was just asking to be played no touchdown, and you knew it like halfway through the third quarter. This was just a completely ugly game. It's one thing, I'm down for a low scoring game if it's like good defense and guys making crazy tackles and that kind of stuff. Like, this was just, missing wide open guys, drop passes, interceptions. It wasn't like it wasn't a well played game on any level. And shout out to the numerous people reaching out to ask me if Colby was doing a bit or if he was serious about liking this game.
It's out of control, Sean. You were out of the office, but there's a certain look that Colby gets. It's similar to the, if you have that friend that gets so drunk they black out, but they stay awake for hours. That same look of emptiness, like behind their eyes. He gets that look when it's something he's irrationally into. And the second I brought up the game, he looked at me and basically he's like, "You're like the world's a bunch of fucking pussies." That was a glorious game, and we started talking about it. And I simply said, "Hey, look, dude, I'm someone who's laser focused on the NFL, obviously, and I watch a lot of football games. That was a bad fucking football game, not because it was low scoring, because it was a bad fucking football game. Not possible for a game to be bad if it goes to overtime," was his response. And I didn't know how to get past that point. It made me feel like he obviously didn't watch the game. Matt Ryan, horrible. They're now making excuses about how Russ has an injury he's playing through, and he was sitting at his locker for 45. They got the beat reporter who's like new around there. There's like, "Hey, put this out. Russ is still sitting next to the coach 45 minutes after everyone else left." Next day, we're going to drop that he's been playing through an injury. It's fucking unbelievable. I'm so sorry for thinking Russ was the sexy bitch. Pete Carroll is hot as fuck. He was being limited by Russ. How is Geno Smith so fun? How is this team awesome? Anyway, I'm getting on a tangent, but Denver Indy was easily the worst game of the week. And we even discussed the no touchdown, Sean. We said it out loud. We really fucked up.
We need to get someone to edit like Pete Carroll talking and then have him calling himself Mr. Unlimited. So if anyone can do that, it's very good with video editing. That would be
just him awesome. Taking the shirt off with DK Metcalf, dub in Russ saying Unlimited.
New York Giants 27, Green Bay Packers 22. Giants get the outright win. I don't know, not much to take away here. It's a London game. You could just kind of toss it out. But any thoughts, Ron?
I mean, you should go to my Twitter feed at Kramer Centric. The pinned tweet is just a bunch of British fans saying you can shove your fucking cheese up your ass. You can
ours.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I'm American, so I say
you're
ass,
translating.
But yeah, it's just it's a fun song where they're literally just saying you can shove your fucking cheese up your ass. You can shove your fucking cheese up your ass. You can shove your fucking cheese. You can shove your fucking cheese. You can shove your fucking cheese up your ass. Like British people are fabulous for that reason, right? They
cheeky bastards.
They party when the Queen dies, and they tell Packers fans they can shove cheese up their ass. Here's my favorite part of this game. Fuck the refs. I feel bad for Vikings, Lions, and Bears fans. This Packers offense, every play is an offensive pass interference. It's incredible. They're very good at it, but it's got to be so frustrating to have to play that constantly. But here's my beef. Mark Sanchez, you can't let Mark Sanchez rock a beige sweater like it's fucking normal. B, Mark Sanchez, prepare for the game. Sean, he didn't know basic shit about both teams. It was incredible. We were better prepared for our Madden sims during the pandemic than Mark Sanchez was for a football game in London when everyone's watching. Very disappointed in the performance from Mark Sanchez. Very impressed by Dan Jones. This was another game where I dare you to come at Dan. Dan Jones won this game. Practice squad receivers. Saquon Barkley had another good game. The defense showed up, but Dan Jones, Aaron Rodgers always complaining about those receivers. Sean, Dan Jones doesn't complain. Dan Jones just goes out and wins football games.
Aaron Rodgers he's like that. He's just so pouty. Like the way he just snaps off his chin strap and he's like always mad at everyone else. Daniel Jones after the game when they won, like the look on his face, I can only describe it as pure confusion. Like he was the look on his face. He seemed genuinely surprised they won the game.
I've been blessed with the back-to-back quarterbacks who have negative emotion at all time. It's just inverted emotion at all time. And by the way, Sean, I thought you'd like it. I also put out the old video of him and Dan Jones and Eli Manning partying at some bar in Hoboken, throwing napkins in the air. Yeah. So good time to be a Giants fan, Sean. Fun fact: this is the best starting record in the history of the sports gambling podcast. I went back and I did a little plot on every single starting record since we started this show. Never have the Giants started 5-0. This is the first time they've started 4 in a row. I know that's what I'm explaining. If you were listening,
okay.
This is the first time.
I was listening. You said never have the Giants started
5-0.
5-0,
and this is the first time they've started 4-1. So this is a podcast first, Sean.
Congrats. Saints 39, Seattle 32. I had Seahawks on the money line, and man, they kept coming back. They kept seeming like they were going to pull it out. They just don't play any defense. I tried to convince you, Ryan. We of course made the mistake of drafting Kyle Pitts in our high stake ETH league. We were bumming around for a tight end, ended up trading for Njoku, which isn't a bad trade, but I go, why don't we just start Taysom Hill this week? And you're like, no.
I mean, that's a real simplistic way to tell the story. First of all, you would need the context of Sean will every single time we've ever needed a tight end, his his recommendation is Taysom Hill, which is genius. It's just like our first touchdown strategies, right? Because when you hit,
they paid the guy. They're going to use him.
No, I know. I'm just, I wasn't flat no, but you were. I was saying maybe we should find something more long term. And then in a laughable way, he has a 3 touchdown game, that a 4 touchdown game if you count the one either. It's just it couldn't have happened to a better guy. Couldn't have happened to a better guy.
Coach's son.
He's not even the coach's son. Like his dad already left. They don't need to keep playing him.
Houston Texans, Ryan, look out. Division AFC South. They're back in the mix with a huge win in Jacksonville, their first of the year, 13-6. Now this was a pretty ugly game as well. Houston got the win, got the cover. Trevor Lawrence, again, I know everyone was, I know everyone was all over Goldilocks after those first couple games, but he has not looked good. I mean, that interception he threw in the end zone was rough.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I feel like, did we bring up the fact that this is now their 9th straight against the Jags?
Yeah. No, we keep, there's a couple things that always happen in the AFC South, and shame on us for not putting Houston on the card. You did give it out as your money line dog. That was a sweet hit at +260, but yeah, I mean, this Texans team, you could make a case this was one of their worst games offensively, at least, and it's the first time they get the win. But they're now 1-2-1. They're not that far behind the Titans. We'll see. A lot could happen in the old AFC South. Although the Colts winning against the Broncos was brutal.
I have a hot take if you want to hear it.
Sure.
Where everyone is so quick to think Doug Peterson's a better coach than Urban Meyer. In the games where James Robinson has carried the ball 17 times or more, they are 2-0. In all of the other games, they're 0-3. But I know maybe a little simplistic, but what the fuck are we doing out here?
Keep giving him the ball.
Even Trevor Lawrence last year said he's the best player on the team. So maybe let's reevaluate the strategy.
Buffalo Bills 38, Pittsburgh Steelers 3. We got cute, took the Steelers here. Historic spread for the Steelers. This is the biggest dog since like the 1970 merger. I gave out George Pickens over receiving yards. That hit. I even did a win build your own bet with Pickens, Pickett over passing yards. And I needed a Pickens touchdown. He couldn't get any touchdowns, not even in garbage time. This Bills team must have been motivated from the last time the Steelers beat them, but RIP the Steelers. I just don't think it's going to happen. And then I don't know if you saw TJ Watt did something with his hamstring during his healing of his pec. So he's going to be out for a while.
No, he had knee surgery. That's going to add like a week or two. It wasn't, I mean, it didn't seem like that big of a deal. Real quick, if you haven't seen the highlights of this game, you got to go back and watch. As soon as Josh Allen made this throw, I knew we were fucked. He steps up into the pocket from the 2-yard line. And if you didn't see, like, there was legitimate wind blowing. It was affecting punts. And he just rifles this bomb to Gabe Davis that no problem getting well onto the other side of the field. And in classic Gabe Davis game fashion, it's just like, why is this guy not able to do this all the other times? Like, why do they keep this one snuck away? It's like, is this the special like girlfriend experience lady that you save for your trips to Vegas? Like, why are you not using this one all the time? I don't understand.
Yeah, Gabe Davis best ball shares got a nice bump with that win there. Tampa Bay Bucks 21, Atlanta Falcons 15. I didn't see a ton of this, but what I did see was just like, Tampa Bay kind of being methodical, not as super. The offense wasn't as, Tom Brady quite in FU mode as we would have hoped. Lighten it up, and then Atlanta just kind of hangs around and got the backdoor covered.
It started strange, like it started in a way where you're like, uh-oh, Atlanta's going to cover. And then Tom Brady got things into order. Shout out to me. I ran a Tom Brady, Fournette, Godwin lineup with no bring back. Took down the big boy this week, Sean, with a 200 pointer. I don't know this. And then they started doing their thing. And then I don't know, like they're there is something about the Bucks this year. They're not going to go like they're not going to be maybe they'll get better, but there's something limiting them, and there's no way an Atlanta team should be able to come back 21-0 because they did it by running the ball. They just said they doubled down on running the ball and it worked. And so once again, Atlanta showing that they're going to be a threat in this division. I mean, they just played again, some will say it was backdoor nature the way they closed the game. Not so. They established the line of scrimmage in the second half of this game. And if not for that bullshit call where Tom Brady got swung around a little do-si-do and then he goes down and the ref's worried about his fucking hip. Horrible. Like the NFL is going to have to apologize for that. That's like crooked.
That was a pretty bad one. Yeah.
Fortunately, it didn't really have an effect on the spread because that was crooked. But yeah, I mean, it was Tom Brady got a win, but there's still some questions to be answered here, I think.
Minnesota Vikings 29, Chicago Bears 22. Minnesota got out to a little lead there, and then Chicago came back, got their offense going a little bit. They were driving, and of course they fumble and blow it. We graded it as a push because we both had Minnesota -7. Ryan, I was thinking there for a little bit. Chicago Bears might pull it out, but they fell apart there.
Classic. This Vikings team is unbelievable. Once again, they get out to a big lead. It seems like they're going to be fine. They somehow let a Bears team that doesn't seem to be capable of mounting a comeback. They allow them to come back. This I don't think this coach is very good. This is a clear case of bad coaching. And at the end of the day, you probably didn't see it, Sean, but Justin Fields had this insane run. They got called back with a hold. It probably fortunate to push this game. If you're a Bears fan, you're probably feeling a little robbed. You weren't a little liver to get a victory here, and you got to be so frustrated that Mooney's being wasted without any fucking targets because that guy just makes amazing catch after amazing catch. I will say this is by far the best game I've ever seen Justin Fields play. And yet,
yeah, he looked good from what I saw.
Oh, he played a good game, and I think Minnesota Giants are 4-1, but the Vikings are the more fraudulent team.
Wow. Hot take. NC Street News says, I got Eagles fans getting excited because they're 5-0 against 5 bottom feeder teams that haven't sniffed the playoffs last year. Lions, Vikings, and Bears. Oh my. Like what are you talking about? First off, they just played the Cardinals who were in the playoffs. Vikings are 4-1 and to Ryan's point, they are a bit fraudulent, but and Jaguars are in there. They did not play the Bears. Like, what is this? If you're going to talk shit, at least get some of the information correct. And the fact that they're the only undefeated team in the NFL, I think that's okay to be excited about. Well, who have you played? We played the fucking teams that are on the schedule. That's who we played, and we beat them all. So it's a good start. It's okay to be excited.
Sean, it's what the Giants. It's what they say about the Giants too. It's okay.
Well, that's different. That's the Giants.
Oh, okay.
We've looked good doing it too. You know who didn't look good? The Washington Commanders. They lost 21-17 to the Tennessee Titans. We were split on this one, Ryan. I rolled the dice with the Titans, even though it was not a plus EV situation traditionally, but you have to handicap for Carson Wentz throwing a back-breaking interception on the goal line. They can't start him next week, can they?
I really thought he was going to win the game. And then it was like, oh shit, there it is. And all of a sudden, watch out for the Titans 3-2. Look, my Sam Howell 90-1 rookie of the year ticket is still, no one has established that thing. I'm a little worried about what Breece Hall is up to right now, but no one has come close to establish. Chris Olave is probably going to miss a game or two now. He got knocked out on that touchdown. No one's established himself. So if Howell can come in, this team is loaded with weapons. I mean, De'Ami Brown comes out of nowhere to fire back at Amon-Ra St. Brown. Lucky you played me week 2, bitch. I mean, they have an insanely deep receiving core. They seem to have good running backs. I mean, the crowd was really fucking excited about Brian Robinson. It's just Carson Wentz. And here's what I will say: I'll give Carson Wentz a compliment. He also made some fucking pretty awesome. He made some throws that allowed his receivers to make amazing catches again. And it's like he, in some ways, he can make throws that most guys can't because of his arm strength. But it's also the reason he's horrible, because he holds onto the ball too long. He tries to fit it into a tight window. And if you're Ron Rivera, like, how do you keep? You're an old guy. You're not one of these young guys. This isn't your guy. Try Sam Howell. Just try it. It can't be worse.
That De'Ami Brown throw was good, and that's what's so annoying about Carson Wentz. You see those splash plays, and you're like, yeah,
Sean,
this guy's awesome.
Carson Wentz more losses in the division than all the other teams combined.
That's a great stat.
Yeah.
New York Jets destroyed the Miami Dolphins 40-17. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if I feel like if Bridgewater stays in the game, they have a much better chance, right? I mean, like, you can't be expected to win a game on the road with your third string quarterback.
Look, Teddy Covers went out early with an elbow injury. Definitely not maybe a head. I mean, evaluated for a head injury, but not a head injury. But because he was evaluated for a head injury, he had to be ruled out for his arm. But it wasn't because of a concussion. I hope that's clearer for you, Sean. Skyler, a guy named Skyler came into a football game, Sean. That's the beginning of the story. How does it go for you?
One of my locks included a guy named Skyler. I didn't sign up for that.
You don't think?
If I knew Skyler was in the game,
listen, Skyler's never going to beat the supreme motherfucker, AKA Zach Wilson. That's just the way the story goes. I've seen one too many fairy tale movies.
Look out. Jets getting hot, man. I got to stop fading the Jets.
What was the 2015? The last time the Jets and Giants were both above 500 this late into the season. Lots of crazy, lots of magical shit's happening.
I don't know what Tom Brady's talking about with all this poor football play. Jets and Giants are dominating. Cleveland Browns. They covered the 2.5. That's what we picked it at. They lost 30-28. Oh man. And we handicapped the matchups, I thought, pretty well. Like, Cleveland was going to be able to run all over them. And Chargers would be able to pass the ball a little bit. I don't know, man. You gotta get that last field goal. Of course, I feel like the Browns have boned us a couple times. Like, they boned us when they hit that, what was it, like a 58-yarder against the Panthers?
That piece of Cody York. Or Cade York, whatever the fuck his name is. He fucks us against the Panthers, knocks us out of the survivor pool week 1, and then comes back and misses not 1 but 2 field goal. Look, to quote the great Brandon Lang, Sean, we got you on the right side of this one. I mean, hopefully you got the 2.5. I mean, Jesus. Hopefully you're not one of these square pegs falling down the stairs betting on Sunday morning. I mean, it's just unlucky. I mean, the T's still came home. Shout out to Mr. Wong, but
yeah,
just a dirty way, especially with the Chargers trying their hardest to charger. Staley goes for it on 4th. Like, I don't
get it. Yeah,
I don't see how that was a plus EV move. Shout out to Levitan, put out a Brandon Staley might be a fake sharp tweet, because I just don't understand that move there. They don't get it. Shocker. It's the Chargers. And then the Browns just fuck it up. And this is not they need Deshaun Watson problem. This is the coach forgets that they're a dominant running team. And he wants to have his series where he's having some fun with his plays, and he takes this team. They would have these drives where Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt would just literally bend them over and take it to them. Right? They knew what they were doing. They ran it down their throat. And then next thing you know, Brissett's fucking dropping back and slinging the rock around. I didn't understand the game plan. I thought they played right into what the Chargers were. My feeling is the Chargers were smart on defense, and they were tricking them into doing that, and it worked.
Yeah.
And they went from dominating the game in the first half to playing in a shootout, which is the Chargers always want to play these crazy fucking games. It's just the way the Chargers are going to play. So yeah, the Browns. That was a bad loss. How are the Browns 2-3?
Yeah, and that Jets loss too. That was brutal. I mean, they really should be. You could make a pretty easy case they should be 4-1. They hit that field goal, and that collapse that was required to lose that Jets game was pretty epic. Detroit Lions 0, New England Patriots 29. I made the mistake of taking the Lions and the points here, overlooked the Matt Patricia revenge game. I just didn't think, I just didn't think, whoever the Pats trotted out at quarterback should be a 3-point favorite, but clearly this offense isn't as good as we thought. We were right though, coming into the season that Detroit, got a lot of that Hard Knocks hype, and that seems to be wearing off right now.
Well, this is my other fun trivia question, because you ask a random person on the street that kind of casually watches football, who's in last place in the NFC North? The Detroit Lions, 1-4. Sean, remember when they were 4-11-1, and then everyone got excited and said they were going to be the hype team this year? How's that going?
Oh yeah, we got a good price on the Detroit Lions to win the division, 14-1. No, it's not a good price if they're not going to win anywhere close to the amount of games required.
Sean, obviously we were projecting a much better defense than that. No, you weren't. Everyone thought they were going to have their defense is bad. 5 games, 170 points.
They got to fire their DC. San Francisco 49ers 37, Carolina Panthers 15. They took it to Baker. San Francisco, as I tried to include in the prop show, I think. Forget where I pulled the trigger or didn't, but San Francisco defensive touchdown once again. Another pick 6. Dominated the line of scrimmage. Good news for our fantasy team. Christian McCaffrey continues to be used in the passing game, and I mean, is Matt Rule the quarterback later today, Ryan, or the head coach of the Panthers?
I hope he's not the quarterback. I mean, I put out
you might want to try him out there at this point.
I already broke this news. Ben McAdoodle will be the interim head. How do you not fire him? And maybe it'll happen Monday morning. Maybe Tepper's a billionaire that doesn't work on the weekends. Yeah, he's gonna wait for Monday morning, make him come into the office, and then fire his ass.
Ryan, that's what I kept. You nailed it when you said a couple of weeks ago that we're going to look back and kick ourselves for not picking against and betting against Matt Rule more often. And this game kind of summed that up.
I'm disappointed because there were even some events that was like, the Panthers are going to get a cover. Weird stuff's happening. But yeah, this was one of the games that this was just I mean, I even knew the mismatch was there. It was more just like, really, I'm not laying the points with Jimmy G. But my bad.
Philadelphia Eagles 20, Arizona Cardinals 17. Eagles get the win. Don't get the cover. Got out to a 14-0 lead, and then just kind of sat on it there for the rest of the game. And yeah, I mean, defense played really well, I thought, for the majority of the time. They were moving the ball a little bit. I was a little frustrated they weren't more aggressive, taking some shots downfield against the Cardinals defense. Felt like it was there. It seemed like whatever their scouting report was on the Cardinals, like basically that these screens to Devonta Smith were going to be there all the time, and they kept running them, and they kept working. They would have long drives, just not, didn't turn it into a bigger or more explosive plays that I was hoping for as far as the offense is concerned. But great final drive. Game was tied. Jalen Hurts drove the team down. Huge completion on 3rd and 11 to get them in makeable field goal range for their backup kicker. I know Cardinals fans were bitching that they had a backup field goal kicker. Well, so did we. Our backup field goal kicker is better than your backup field goal kicker. Wow. It's called depth. It's called depth, guys.
Wow. Is this what we're fighting
about? But yeah, I thought they played well. I mean, Kyler can be very frustrating to play at times. I was pretty hilarious on that last drive where he slid. He thought he had got the first down and then clocked it, even though it was 3rd and 1, and they probably should have ran another play and got a little closer. Of course, Cliff said like that was part of the plan, but clearly it wasn't. They got the win, didn't get the cover. Awesome to see all the Eagles fans out there going nuts, and yeah, it was a good time.
I mean, yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to get that win, and they didn't cover. Jalen Hurts continues to just be dominant force with his legs, and shout out to my high stakes fantasy leagues that have him as their quarterback. It's excellent.
Well, and
you saw a glimpse of what could happen though if a team, when they run into a team that isn't a bottom dweller, Sean, as the guy in the chat was saying. When they finally run into some competition, you could see what that might look like, where Jalen Hurts struggles a little bit, but once again, looks good.
No, I don't. I don't even think Hurts struggled that much. I mean, I think the offense just wasn't aggressive enough. It's not like they took shots down the field and he wasn't hitting them. They just weren't taking them. I thought overall he was pretty accurate. And then also Jalen Hurts is just a dog when it comes. So many times where it's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, 4th and goal, 3rd and goal, 3rd and short, 4th and short. And you're always just like, run a QB sneak. You get it every time. Like, and this team is automatic on that 4th and goal, 3rd and goal situation, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. And it's a huge asset having a quarterback that can just consistently get those.
Yeah. I mean, again, the all of these teams in the NFC East are doing like their run first teams. Throwback to the times when the NFC East was winning championships over the Bills every year.
But I don't even know if I don't know if the Eagles they didn't even run the ball that much. It was just more a very conservative, close to the line of scrimmage pass game. I mean, Hurts was 26 for 36. Like he was throwing the ball well. It just, I wish they would have been more explosive, and I'm excited. Hopefully they open it up a little bit next week. Sunday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys. All right. Rams 10, Cowboys 22. We alluded to the fact that, people who are non-biased, maybe you should take the Cowboys here. This one almost just, I didn't bet the Rams, but the fact that everyone wanted to take Dallas, loved Dallas on the money line, loved Dallas in the points, and it seems so obvious. That was the only thing I think that kind of had me intrigued about the Rams. Matt Stafford just looks really bad.
I mean, I think the issue with this Rams team is they're just not good. And essentially like had we not be who we are and taken the Cowboys, but it's okay to be who we are. It's 2022, Sean. The Rams being 5-point favorites meant that the Rams were better, 5-point favorite, 5-point better on a neutral field, which is insane. If you probably didn't have the audio on when you were watching this, obviously, you were at a game, but this almost sounded like a Chargers game, Sean. It was embarrassing. there were. I
know they won the Super Bowl. Jesus.
And they're totally mailing it in this year. So, unfortunately, Cooper. The best thing about this, though, Sean, is it is creating the infighting that's going to Cooper Rush. Like, there's not a right choice they can make now. They can't make a right choice. Because if Dak comes back and catches an L, oh my goodness. That's
right.
Go ahead.
Ryan, we got a caller on the line, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord, joining us with his very hilarious Eli Manning face profile icon, Mr. Serial. What's up, Serial?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Good, man. Eagles are 5-0. Can't complain. How about you? How were your picks today?
It was all right. Definitely have a nominee for the locker. We could put the whole Carolina staff in there.
Yes. Co-sign that.
Well, I have a feeling that maybe some of the staff are going to be asked to leave and some are going to be asked to stay. You got to fire him, right? Or do you leave? Because here's the problem: Carolina has at Rams and then Bucks. Do you let him just coach the team for 2 more games?
You may as well, and then just because then you're bringing in the new coach, and they're gonna, not as hard a pass. So maybe
they have a tough schedule, dude. Carolina doesn't have a bye until week 13. It's really gonna be tough sledding for them. Baker's in a walking boot.
And my locker nominee, we brushed by, but obviously it was Taysom Hill. Throw that guy in a locker. It drove me crazy that he was the guy that ended up destroying the Seattle money line single-handedly. What do you like for Monday night, Serial? You got any picks for Monday night?
Yeah, I'm actually a little interested in it. I think, there's definitely an opportunity to go either way here, especially if they're looking to a trap game scenario for Kansas City, coming off a big game against Brady, and then the Bills coming up next week. So maybe, if you want to buy that narrative, but other than that, everything else is kind of pointing to Kansas City for me. But in terms of prop bets, I like Josh Jacobs anytime touchdown. Like his first touchdown opportunity, plus 1,300 for that.
Does seem low for a starter.
Yeah.
All right.
And each team to score 1+ touchdown each half for plus 110.
Oh, I always look at that bet. I always I've placed that one. I've placed that one a number of times.
All right. Thanks, Serial. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem. I do got to ask you, how good does it feel to beat Green Bay this week?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, first of all, the Giants have
wanted to give you guys your shine for the Giants and the Eagles. Got to come up here, celebrate my Cowboys as well.
Well, we don't ever need to celebrate the Cowboys, but we can tolerate them. And you're gonna, Sean, you'll have to talk to Sean this week. You guys are.
Oh yeah, I know. It's one of the best things so far this season is that you guys are undefeated. Hopefully, the next best thing will be seeing Philly undefeated next week.
Oh.
Let's go. All right, appreciate it, Cyril. Let it ride, man.
See you.
I will say, the Giants and the Packers have played some games over the years. Giants have their number. Really does piss me off that they always show that fucking Hail Mary highlight with Aaron Rodgers, but they never show the Eli Manning to Akeem Nicks Hail Mary in the playoffs that led to a fucking Super Bowl. Fucking, I love life right now, Sean. Did we get through the games?
Last game, Bengals 17, Ravens 19. The spread is not dead. Bengals get the cover plus 3.5. Man, should have made this one of my locks. I felt pretty good about it. Lamar missed some wide open dudes. Certainly had a chance to really open this up. Couldn't get it done. Bengals got stopped right there on the goal line. Needed that score, but ultimately Justin Tucker was the star of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen a kicker pull off such an arrogant. I mean, Martin Gramatica sharing his ACL, celebrating a kick was pretty memorable for the wrong reasons. But I'm never gonna forget Justin Tucker getting lost in my eyes, the person watching on TV, as he just stares arrogantly, like, yeah, of course that was going in, you fucking idiot. I'm Justin fucking Tucker.
That he has as a kicker is crazy. And they were interviewing him after the game, and he's like, "First off, I want to just make sure everyone knows this is a team game, and we just want to say that just want to that Lamar played real well." And right after I hit that kick, he came up to me, he said, "Great job, man." I said, "No, you had a great job." It's like, what? No one thinks you're better than Lamar Jackson, you fucking kicker. Come on.
Wait, wow.
I mean, I get it. Justin Tucker is good, but come on.
Were you watching this somewhere you had audio on?
Yeah.
Okay. Then do you remember what Chris Collinsworth said about him? This is one of the best football not just kickers, best football players in the league. Really? Calm down, guys. He's a kicker.
And then he accidentally, it was a big to do that he accidentally threw his pen out of the broadcast booth and hit some kid below him. And then they gave him an autographed Chris Collinsworth shirt as a keepsake. It's I'm sure this kid doesn't give a shit about an autographed Chris Collinsworth shirt. He's probably a Ravens fan.
What's he going to do with an announcer's shirt? Get the fuck out of here. You think he knows that Chris Collinsworth played? No.
Yeah. Better lock up that t-shirt. It's going to get stolen. Gonna frame it in your man cave. That shirt's not going to make its way home. What are we talking about?
I'm suing unless I get something from Jack. More of a Jack Collinsworth guy.
All right, let's get to the Monday night props. Before we do, shout out to Fubo TV. If you watch football, you need Fubo. College and pro football, the NFL Red Zone for games in 4K at no extra charge. Over 100 channels of live sports and entertainment. The cloud-based DVR, love that thing. You can try it now for free. FuboTV.com/SGP. 7 days free and 15% off your first month. FuboTV.com/SGP. Fubo TV free for 7 days and 15% off your first month. Also brought to you by Odds Trader. That's right. Odds Trader is the best place to compare odds from all the major books. Compare the different sign-up codes, the promos, find the best deals. They also hit you with player stats, game stats, injury reports, and projected game day weather. for bettors to make the most informed bets possible. Play-by-play updates, live scores, bet tracking. They got it all. Head over to oddstrader.com/Blue Wire. That's ODDS trader.com/Blue Wire. Odds Trader, the #1 site for all your game day bets. Kramer, what do you got? First prop.
Sorry, I got distracted. I was looking at the top picks for next year, trying to see if Matt Rule had been fired yet. Carolina's obviously Carolina, Pittsburgh, Detroit, and Washington currently the top 4 picks. So.
Saints are we're up there. Unfortunately, they won, and the Eagles have the Saints pick, so that's pretty awesome.
Good thing they got Chris Olave for that. All right, you want to start with some props? How do you want to do this?
Yep.
All right, Patrick Mahomes over 280.5 passing yards. I'm team over right now because this is a Patrick Mahomes versus the Raiders game. He took the Raiders with the points. I do think this is going to be a higher scoring game. Primetime over loading 6-2 to the over in 8 career games versus the Raiders at this number. He's averaging 318. So, kind of feels like a dummy trend, but also a strong one. So Patrick Mahomes over 280.5 passing yards.
Give me Derek Carr over 7.5 rush yards. Seems to be using his legs a little bit more. First game 0, then 9, 17, 40. You look at his splits, he's actually run a little bit more than he normally does against the Chiefs. So over 7.5, I feel like is and it's a fun bet to have because he can get this, in one play. So love it.
And the short sweats are sometimes fun. Davante Adams over 74.5 receiving yards. Again, team over. Kansas City is a shocking 29th in DVOA against #1 receivers. This is going to be a tough matchup for them. Davante hasn't exactly been loud. This game's going to require a big game from him. So I think he goes well over the 74.5 receiving yards.
All right, give me Derek Carr over 0.5 interceptions. Even though I'm on the Raiders +7, I do think he's good for a pick on the road here. 16 games in his career against Kansas City. He's thrown 17 interceptions. He didn't throw any interceptions last week, and I just don't think he can go back-to-back games without throwing a pick. So give me Derek Carr over 0.5 interceptions.
It's like a win barometer for them.
Yeah.
Binary if he throws when they're not winning. All right, last one. This is kind of stacked with Mahomes. Kelsey over 73.5 receiving yards. Another one, in his time with Mahomes, those same 8 games, he would also be 6-2 to the over. In those 8 games, averaging 7 catches for 101 yards on 9.5 targets, and he scored 5 touchdowns. So I don't know what else to tell you. It seems pretty. I will say his anytime touchdown price is probably a little too juiced based on history, and based on the fact that they're throwing to like 4 different tight ends annoyingly around the red zone. But as far as his catch prop, his catch prop is 6.5 too, Sean, which is a tad high for me. But the yards at 73.5 with his average against the Raiders sitting over 100 seems odd. It seems too easy. Dummy over.
Daniel Carlson over 1.5 field goals. If you've watched any primetime game this year in the NFL, it's unders and field goals, Ryan. So Daniel Carlson 12 for 12 this season. And again, he's averaging 3 a game. I think he gets 2 at home.
I thought I was the kicking specialist. What the fuck?
No, I'm stealing your spot. Ryan, you were saying you were leaning over. I understand the case for that, but I'm going under with my Monday night build your own bet. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/win bets. And I'm doing it in a fun way. I'm taking over 2.5 field goals, under 3.5 KC touchdowns, under 3.5 Raiders touchdowns. That pays 15-1.
Okay, I got a 20-1 opportunity here for you.
Do you like how I correlated that, right?
I
that
do.
Feels pretty fun.
And I've been pulling back a little bit and doing some of the same stuff. So I'm going high scoring. So here's my high scoring version. Raiders go over 2.5 touchdowns. Chiefs go over 3.5 touchdowns. Again, that's getting you right about where the over is. I think it's an over game. Davante Adams over 105 receiving yards. Again, Chiefs really bad against the #1. Mahomes to go over 315.5. Again, he's averaged 318 against this Raiders team in his career. Kelsey to go over 100. As I just told you, he averages over 100. All of that again, we're just dealing with averages, right? Nothing more than a coin flip here or there. 20-1. I mean, come on. This is one of my more favorite ones. I feel like I'm getting more and more dialed in.
Yeah. All right. What about first touchdown, Ryan? I'll go first. Give me for the Chiefs. I'll take Noah Gray again. 28-1. They are involving this guy in the red zone. Love that. Love the price. Patrick Mahomes 19-1 first touchdown. I'm also going to take a shot with Derek Carr first touchdown again. Like his rushing yards, like the rushing yard props. So give me Derek Carr at 40-1, and my boy Mack Hollins. Derek Carr seems to trust him. 22-1 for essentially the second receiver. Let's go.
Well, the reason Noah Gray is starting to be a bigger part of the offense, Sean, is because we finally dropped him in our dynasty league because we need some room. That unlocked him. It freed him from having success in the real world. Okay, I'm with you with Mahomes at 19-1. Someone who's been getting more and more involved in the offense. You saw him go like basically healthy scratch, 8 snaps, and then last week was on the field for a whopping 22 snaps, almost half of MVS and Juju. So Sky Moore 28-1. Wanted to get a little weird here. Could see them using him in kind of a gimmick play. Those 22 snaps, like I said, half the snaps is MVS, 5 targets to 4 targets. So they were obviously running stuff for him. Wouldn't be surprised if they wanted to get the ball in his hands around the goal line. On the Raiders side, I'll fade the Mack Hollins hype and I'll go Hunter Renfrow. They love to use him around the goal. Obviously, I guess check to see his health.
Who is the Mack Hollins hype? Is it just me? Who else is hyping up Mack Hollins?
Again, I don't have a wide blast radius on things I listen to, but I assume that everyone's hyping up as much as you. Hunter Renfrow 19-1. Of course, they loved using him around the red zone last year. See if that continues. And Davante Adams 11-1 is just not the right price. So I thought about only playing one Raider and it just being Davante Adams at 11-1, but throw Hunter Renfrow in there. I think Carr does get a passing touchdown. We need one of these, Sean. We're due.
Yeah, been a little cold. And RIP the lock streak unfortunately came to an end, and then my dog streak unfortunately came to an end. But hey, good streaks are meant to be broken, much like we saw with Roger Maris. Just means time to start a new streak, Ryan.
Well, Sean, I broke it in a week where I hit my dog plus 260 on the Houston Texans. I hit my tees. So I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
9-1 on the season. Let's fucking go.
Hashtag still here. We will be doing the college football podcast on Tuesdays. So stay tuned for that. Toss us a nice rating review every Monday, giving away $100 SGPN gift card merch Monday. You got to take the screenshot of you submitting the review, enter it in the SGPN app. Can't miss it over there. For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
4-1, Dan Jones, baby.
Kramer, let it ride.